This is the plaintiff, Manzoor Gondal. He says he bought a Kenmore cooktop from the defendant, who assured him it worked, and sure enough, when he got it home and plugged it in, it didn't. The defendant refuses to refund his money. He's very hot under the collar about it, and is suing the guy for the $780 it's now going to cost him to get the thing fixed. This is the defendant, Randall. He says he switched from electric to gas for his stove, and that's why he sold the plaintiff his old cooktop. The plaintiff doesn't understand how electric cooktops work. The thing is working fine, and a deal is a deal. He's accused of getting a guy all hot and bothered. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for time wasted.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff bought a Kenmore cooktop from the defendant, and it didn't work. But the defendant says the plaintiff doesn't understand how electric cooktops really work. It's the case of, I bought a Ken-less.
Litigants have been affirmed.
Thank you, Douglas. Manzoor Gondal, you are suing Randall. You've asked us just to refer to you by your first name. And
Please.
And we'll respect that. For $780 for a range that you bought from him that, according to you, it does not work. Tell me what happened.
On February 8, 2014, I seen an ad on Craigslist, and I called this gentleman, and I asked him if this range is available. He said yes. I came to see it.
What kind of range was this?
It was Kenmore electric range.
Okay.
So I went to see it. It was unplugged and sitting. I asked him to plug it in so I can see if it is working. He said, believe me, I assure you it's working. So.
Did he plug it in?
No, he said the plug is not available. He changed to gas, and he cannot plug it anywhere.
Okay.
So I took the range.
Why wasn't the plug available? Is it 220?
I switched to gas. I had it on the market for some time before I sold it, and in that time, my gas conversion took place. I had to have an appliance in working order in the house, so my plumber hooked up the...
Right, but what does that have to do with the plug?
Well, you also have to put an electric connection for the gas one, too, because it's an electronic ignition. So that came out, and the other one went in, and the other one's a different power.
All right, go ahead.
So I plugged it in, and I found it was immediately turning it off. And also the display...
What do you mean it was immediately turning off?
It turns on and turns off.
Wait, what does that mean? What is causing you to conclude that? That's a conclusion. Tell me what you're looking at that's making you think that.
I turn on the stove, the top part of the oven, and it turns on. And
What do you mean it turns red and gets hot?
It turns red, and it goes down immediately.
Okay, when you say it goes down, do you mean it gets cold?
No, right?
It stays hot, but it stops glowing red?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
And also the display on the top was not working. And when I want to check the oven and I want to set the temperature for oven, it doesn't tell me what the temperature is because the display was not working. So I called Sears, and they told me the control board is not working on this.
Wait, did Sears come and see it?
Yes, they came.
Okay.
And they gave me an estimate.
What does that range cost?
It's brand new.
Brand new.
$399.
Why would you buy somebody else's headache for another $199? You could get a brand new one with warranty.
I thought it would be working for $200, but...
Yeah. All right, so you call him how soon?
Immediately, same day, at 10 o'clock.
And he tells you, too bad, so sad.
He said
it's
that
working,
was not
it's
the
working.
deal. It's working, and I'm not going to take it back.
All right, let me hear your answer.
Okay, so when he called me, I tried to find out what was the problem, and he said it was going on and off. And I said, you mean, like you just went through, it's red, it's not red? I said, well, that's how it's been working since I've owned the thing, and it works perfectly. I've cooked on it all my life.
Because what it
for the last
does,
5 years.
what the electric cooktop does, this is the coil kind, right? And right? And
No,
Coil underneath the glass.
Oh, it's a glass top.
Glass top with
Okay,
coil
so what
underneath.
it does is it gets red, and then when it reaches its temperature, it's still hot. You better not touch
Regulates
it.
the temperature. If you
But
put it on medium, it's going to go less frequent, and if you put it on high, it's going to go more frequent.
Right, but it goes in and out because it's trying to keep a certain temperature.
Correct.
All right.
So he didn't understand that when I tried to explain it to him. So then I went ahead the next day, I believe, because this was late at night. He was going back and forth with me throughout the evening. He picked it up in the evening, and I think I had calls until 10 o'clock at night. So finally the next day, I called the manufacturer And I said, is this normal operating procedure? Isn't this how it's supposed to work? It's always been working fine for me. And they said, yes, this is how it's supposed to work. Do you mind staying on the line so I can get him on the line on a third party so he can hear it right from your mouth? Which we did. And he heard it, but he still wasn't satisfied with that.
Did that happen?
Yes, it happened. Actually, he was talking to the manufacturer or somebody, I don't know who it was, for some time.
But did you ever call the manufacturer if you didn't believe that was...
I called the manufacturer and I called them home. They came and they checked the equipment.
Right.
This is what they gave me.
Let me see what they gave you.
Thank you, sir.
Would you buy a cooktop, an electric cooktop at a garage sale, say, if you couldn't plug it in?
No, I wouldn't.
Who would? Who would? Why?
We buy things at garage sales all the time. It doesn't,
This is why men take advantage of you. Going inside the courtroom.
What does this say? It says it needs a switch, which is something that he had talked about.
You know, in the time that when I was first selling it, I took a picture and I posted it online showing all the 4 burners working in operation. I still used it while I was trying to sell it. It was still hooked up at that time. In that time, that front right burner, the big one on the right, that burner started to sometimes work, sometimes not. So I called the manufacturer about the switch, or they told me it was a switch. It's a switch behind that knob there that needs to be replaced. That's what the problem is.
Well,
so
they say that's 66 bucks, not 11 bucks. But in any event,
well, actually,
micro what? What's that say there? Micro what?
Control.
What's the microcontrol?
That is the display on the top. It shows you what temperature you are setting the oven.
Okay, but why would he have to pay? First of all, why are you suing for $780 if, according to the manufacturer, you can get all this fixed for $190?
No, those are refurbished parts.
What the heck? You were buying a used thing on Craigslist,
No,
a used range. Why would you be entitled to non-refurbished parts? You were buying a used item. It's kind of buyer beware when you do that. The thing you say is wrong with it is not what they say is wrong with it. Sears comes to your house and tells you you could use the new switch, which you knew when you bought it, and a micro something, which you say is because the display doesn't work.
And the temperature, and the one of the burner.
No, the temperature, there's nothing there talking about the temperature being a problem. I don't think the temperature is a problem.
If you don't see what kind of temperature, where you're setting up the temperature, what temperature you are setting up, it's the control board.
Was that working for you?
I would see it.
Control board.
I cooked in that oven all the time. Exact temperature.
Who is that lady?
That's my girlfriend.
Come on up.
She cooks with me too.
I know that one thing was acting up at the end.
Yes.
Was the readout acting up too?
No.
The readout was working fine when you... Did he give you any kind of warranty? Do you have the Craigslist ad?
No, I don't.
Do you have the Craigslist ad?
I do.
Let me see it. And you're counterclaiming against him $500 for wasted time? What the heck's that?
I spent a lot of hours getting here.
Yeah.
It's wasting my time. I earn money.
And there's no penalty for coming to court. It's part of your right.
Then I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand that.
Because otherwise, then in every single case, the fear that they're going to have to pay you $500 would stop them from suing in small claims for $100 or whatever it is.
Understood.
Yeah. Kenmore supercapacity glass top electric range oven.
It doesn't say anywhere the one burner is not working or control is not working.
No, but he did tell you that before you bought it, right?
When I put it on, it wasn't
Stop.
working. Sorry.
He did tell you that before you bought it.
No, he didn't tell me. He said it's fully working. He showed me.
No, but before you bought it, did he not tell you that one of the cooktops was not working?
No, he didn't tell me. This is what
He's
I
lying.
got.
Just said that.
Yes,
This is what I got the picture.
I also showed him on the internet.
He just admitted it.
Yeah, and you had said something about the part and that you knew about the part. We've talked about you knowing about the part this whole time. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Hold on right there, please.
All right, so here he is, the plaintiff, who just found out that he will get nothing for his lawsuit here. What's going through your mind here?
Yeah, I should better keep the receipt, and I shouldn't trust anybody. He told me it's working. It was not working.
And so you tried to save, what, $199 when you could have gotten a new one for just that much more money?
Yes.
What do you think of that idea now?
Yeah, I should buy a better new one.
Should get a new one, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with this old one now?
I'll just throw it.
Throw it away?
Yeah.
All right. Too bad. All right, right down this way. All right, come on in here. Put yourself in his shoes. How would you feel?
It's buyer beware. I bought things on Craigslist and they don't work sometimes, and it's my problem. He took a chance, but it was working.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was working well. You could have cooked on it the day you sold it to him?
Absolutely.
What do you cook?
Everything.
Harvey?
Okay, here's the key. When you buy a used item, you're buying it as is. Even if the seller doesn't say it's as is, it is.